So I'm going to show you how to create a population change chart using Excel and worldometers. I'm going to make these first two columns a little bit bigger. Okay, we're going to use our starting year for population as 1960, and our ending year, the population data we're going to look at, is 50 years later in 2010. And for this example, I'm going to show the world population, but you are going to choose a country and show your country's population change. Okay, the first column of actual data that we're going to put in is the number of years after 1960. So we don't actually want to put the years that we're looking at in this column. That's important. We just want to put the number of years after the year 1960. And our first data point is going to be 0. So that means 0 years after 1960, or the actual year 1960. And we're going to look 5, 10, 15, 20 years later, and we're going to go all the way up to 50 years later with a difference of 5 years. So this row right here, 20 years after 1960, is going to correspond to the year 1980. We're going to look at 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and 50. Okay, so those are the years we're going to look at. This next column is going to be the population of whatever country you're looking at from the Worldometer's population data. So for me, this is going to be the world population. To find that data, we're just going to go to Worldometers, and our year 0 is 1960. So this, again, is the world population. You'll be looking at the population by year for whichever country you choose. In 1960, here's the population. So just over 3 billion. So I'm going to copy that value. I'm going to put it in this row next to 0 in my little table that I'm starting. And then 5 years after 1960 would be 1965. So I'm going to take that number for 1965, which is about 3.3 billion, put that in the column 5. So, or in the row with 5 years after 1960. And we'd keep doing this, finding all those values for 0 up through 50 years after 1960. Okay, so here's what that looks like for the world population, now that I have all the values filled in. And now we're going to put in a scatter plot data table. So the way that you do that is you start at where your year 0 is, hold down Shift, and then use the arrow keys to highlight both of those columns of data. Then go up here to Insert. And over here in your charts somewhere, your view might be a little bit different from mine, but you should see Insert Chart or Insert Scatter. So this image with all the dots on it, that's going to be a scatter plot. And we just want to do a plain scatter plot, like so. And you can see this is pretty plain, but that's how we get the basic chart actually with the data into our Excel spreadsheet. We'll look at how to modify and add lines to this chart in the next video.